Have you ever been to loud concerts, fiery rallies, busy markets, or noisy transport stations? Can you imagine yourself in those places? If you do, you may experience a little discomfort and uneasiness by just staying and observing there. Eventually, you may realize the value of silence. Hello, friends. This is JD Herbolario, and welcome to Daily Dose of Nosred, a sharing for inspiration for life and living. Silence is a state of stillness and quietude of the mind. It is a state that lingers in two domains or environments, the external and the internal. The external silence is the state of tranquility as we deal with mundane things, such as when we are faced with raging conversations, trapped in busy and noisy markets, or when we are struggling in the midst of disaster. While on the other hand, internal silence is a state of peacefulness amidst the quagmire of the thoughts in the mind. Both domains must be resolved and transformed into quietness. Otherwise, a person may experience stress, distraction, or disturbance. When babies escape out from the womb of their mothers, one of the heavens they need to leave from is silence. The world becomes a noisy playground for a baby, and this is the reason why babies develop their topmost fear of noise. A baby cries hearing loud sounds. It cannot sleep with it, and it will be uneasy for the baby to play. Baby's nature is relatively programmed to be silence lovers. It can play inside a quiet room and can sleep in solitude. You know what? Naturally, babies love silence. But when we become adults, we seemingly accustomed ourselves with the noise of the world. We apparently adopted with noises, but we often find ourselves burdened and stressed with it. And these lead us to find for vacation and go with our friends and find some peaceful retreats. As we grow old, we become very appreciative of silence. Our preferences change and we generally long to more reflective and peaceful environments. In other words, this noisy mundane life, supposedly a life of noise, is not our original abode. This is not our home. It is just a transitory distraction. When we realize this, we will eventually come back to our original home, silence. According to Lao Tzu, silence is a source of great strength. Many times when we are bogged down with problems of the noises in our work or in the family, we often find sanctuary in deep silence and reflections. Better decisions are actually made in silence, and there is virtue in it. At this moment, let us look at the 7 benefits of silence. Number 1, we become calmer. One of the most important benefits of being in silence is that it helps us become calmer. Studies have shown that people who consistently spend time alone and in solitude tend to be calmer. This calmer attitude eases situations when there is tension. Number 2, it clarifies self-talk. When we are alone, we are actually not really alone. In this way, we can potentially cultivate positive self-talk or meaningful conversations with ourselves. Positive self-talk will boost our self-esteem. We will have to ask ourselves, who am I? Sounds interesting, isn't it? But self-talk will only be possible when there is total silence. Number 3, it helps us understand ourselves better. Many successful people are people who really know themselves. People who know their true potential, true strength, and true passions. These people have gone through deep evaluation through silence. Thus, they manage to utilize their characters to become better individuals. Number 4, it improves awareness. People who are meditative and peaceful are very aware of what is happening around them. They know the reality better and they can observe their reactions and tendencies immediately. Through silence, we can have the opportunity to be aware of our body, emotions, and the mind, and this will be a gateway to become a wiser individual. Number 5, it taps our creativity and it broadens our perspective. Human needs to be in contact with a mind free of clutters to broaden the field of imagination. Our perspective is dependent on how much can the mind tries to see in different angles or views. Oftentimes, through silence, we can understand differences and other ways of viewing things, so we can do more extraordinary things. Number 6, it grows better relationships. While conversation is needed in a relationship, it is also of double importance for both partners or relatives to go into silence for better understanding. Being silent is one of the most powerful things that you can do to send an idea that you are taking time to listen, that you are respecting each other's chances to be understood. This opens an opportunity for both sides to grow and learn from each other. And lastly, number 7, it brings the spirit, the mind, and the body in harmony. Most importantly, silence can possibly bring equanimity. Due to busy schedules and chaotic minds, we just cannot help but to live in a hurry and forgot to spend the time to nurture our spiritual self. This is the most important benefits we could get when we go into conscious silence. Silence can be a great tool to use for achieving our best self because only in deep contemplation can real enlightenment and wisdom can come on us. It helps us to gain a better perspective and make sure that we are traveling on the right journey. Going into silence is a privilege that we can do in order to improve the quality of our lives. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. Without the initiative to be silent, we lose the power to change things in a more peaceful way. A person capable of making the mind in silence is capable of peace. A person capable of peace within himself is a person who can influence the world to realize harmony. So, next time that you are bogged down with problems or any circumstances, close your eyes and observe silence, and then there wisdom comes. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for subscribing to Daily Dose of Nosred John, a sharing for inspiration for life and living. Have a nice day.